Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. This will be games 40 to 31 in my top 50 of 2025 list. As I mentioned previously, this list is made up of the top 50 games I've enjoyed throughout the year of 2025. So not necessarily games that came out this year and not necessarily my top 50 list of all time. Just the favourites from the last 12 months. So let's get stuck into it. So to kick us off, number 40 on the list is Raiders of the North Sea. This is the first evergreen game on my list. It has been in my top 50 since I first started doing them in 2020. It has only fallen down the list as far as it has because we just don't play it as much as we used to. With everything else we have in our collection, it's always hard to find the time. I love its unique twist on worker placement with the one on one off. I love the progression as you unlock different coloured workers and progress further up that board, up to the top of the fortresses. And I love those metal coins. Who doesn't? Number 39 is Orchard. This is a delightful solo game of just basically playing cards, overlaying them with the different coloured trees to increase the value of the pips and get the highest score. There's 18 cards in the box, but each game is played with 9, so I always do like a nice little back-to-back double game of this. And it's just a nice, relaxing game to play. Number 38 is Survive Escape from Atlantis. This is one of the most cutthroat games we own in our collection, and it's all the better for it. Just sees you and your friends trying to get off the slowly sinking island to reach those four corners, but damn it if those pesky beasts aren't in the way, sharks, serpents, and even the whales. I don't think you really win this by getting the most points. I'm pretty sure that the actual win condition is who causes the most chaos and who kills the most of their opponent's meeples. I think that's how it should be played. Number 37 is Art Society. I think this is the first 2025 purchase on the list. This was a game recommended to us by a stranger in a bookshop. I was looking at it on the shelf and queried that I thought the bidding mechanic might not work at 2, to which he stepped in and said, no, the way they do it, it works really, really well, even at 2-player. He and his wife play it a lot. So we took a chance on it, and I'm glad we did. It sees players putting out paintings between everyone, and you're trying to bid for the ones you want to maximize your score on your board, avoiding putting the same types next to each other while trying to get the same frames to touch, because you get little bonuses for that. Just a super simple tile placement game. It's got this nice little mechanic as well where the paintings that aren't picked increase the value of said paintings. So you're kind of like trying to make a certain color painting go up, but making sure you've got those on your board as well so they score big at the end of the game. Just very clever and very fun. Number 36 is Railroad Ink. We've enjoyed the Deep Blue edition for a couple of years now, but 2025 saw us jump onto BGA and try out the other versions. I really like it on BGA because it just looks a lot neater than what I do with my marker pens on my board in the real world. But I've been playing this with a couple of friends online now for the last couple of weeks. And it's nice to try out the extra dice that come with each of the games now. I'm getting more into that, trying the expansion dice. So Rivers and Lakes for the Deep Blue edition, the Meteors and the Lava for Blazing Red. And they really make the game more thinky. It's just a really, really fun roll and write series. You should definitely check it out. Number 35 is Siberian, my favourite Oniverse game and one of my favourite solo games of all time. In it, you're using coloured cards of robots numbered 1 to 5 to fulfil orders, but the requirements might be robots of 1, 2, 3, and 4, or robots of all green, and the order cards get more complex as you go through the game, though there is a board that you can upgrade your abilities that you use the colour cards to trigger. It's a nice little puzzle and a fun little solo game. Number 34 is Tenby, another new purchase of 2025. We picked up our copy at UK Game Expo after a demo by the designer. It's got a really interesting turn selection mechanic, very similar to Middle Ages or King Domino, where based on whether you go on the high or low action cards determines in the order you're going to be in for the next round's decision making. You're basically picking houses or peer cards from a bunch of decks of cards and then putting them into your little streets or streets. I tend to just have one long street, but you can have multiple streets, and each card that you put into that street has a scoring condition that requires certain goals met by the cards either side of it. So a card might say 2 points per seagulls. You want to make sure that the cards just to the left and right of it have lots of seagulls in it. And you also get these gold cards that are street scoring. So you want to get good ones for those. That might be points per number of chimney, and that's the chimneys across your entire street. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's a super fun, relaxing simple game to teach and to play, and we've been loving it so far this year. Number 33 is Icky, a game I originally brought thinking it was a different game completely, but I've been pleasantly surprised with the game we ended up with. It's a board with a rondel system. You hire workers and shops into the town square, and then you hope that the other players will use those shops so you can level up your workers and then retire them. These give you bonuses at the end of each round. There's a fire track, which I don't like, that controls turn order. There's seasons, there's feeding of workers. It all comes together to make a really nice puzzle of a game. I will say that it works well at 3 and 4, but I would say if you only play this game at 2-player, do what we did, and if you can get hold of the Akebono expansion, it really fixes things for 2-player with a neutral worker that uses the shops more and adds a really nice extra board on with some travelers and some boat mechanics that go in there. But yeah, it's a lovely themed game. It looks gorgeous, very thinky and very fun. At 32, we have Cortna Horror. This is a game that I was immediately attracted to based on just the art style. The black, the silver, the gold limited artwork is absolutely gorgeous. But beneath that is a really fun economic game where you are trying to build up the city as a group, but you're obviously going to be stepping on each other's toes. There's a little mining aspect that comes to it that can be quite fruitful if you use it correctly. I love the card action selection where you all have your 7 cards, but they're double-ended. So sometimes if you use one ability, like paying for a plot or taking the rights to a building, you'll lose what's on the other side of that. So you really have to plan the order you're going to use your cards in. Yeah, it's just really, really clever. And obviously it's got that really nice, the 2 decks of cards that change the price of things. So you only have money as a resource in this game. You don't have any other things like wood and food and stuff, but you use your money to pay for those resources at market prices that completely fluctuate based on what characters have done and what buildings they put down and stuff. So it's just a very clever little mechanic, and it keeps you on your toes of like, you plan to buy a building for a set price of wood, and then someone does something else that affects wood the turn before you, and the prices go through the roof suddenly, and like, I haven't got enough money to do that now. Yeah, it looks gorgeous, plays very clever, really, really like this game. And the final game on today's list, at number 31, is Scythe. An absolute Stonemaier classic, this one. We played it for a few years at 2 players, and we're lucky enough in the last couple of years to get the Instagram meetups going where we had regular games of Scythe of at least 4-player. And 2025 saw us play our first 7-player epic game. That was a very busy board. And we were very fortunate as well because the person's copy we were playing with, he had everything deluxe, so the resources, he had the metal coins, he does a really nice paint job on his minis. Yeah, that was quite an experience playing it at the full capacity. It's a game that you can go kind of hard on with your strategies. I've seen people play this really focus and know exactly what they're doing, and they make a beeline for all of the sort of win conditions and tick them off one at a time. Me, I'm just a casual farmer that just likes to gather resources and get to the end of the game and see what happens. Maybe I do well, maybe I don't. I've won games, I've lost games miserably, but I just love the aesthetic of the game. I love the art on the board. I love the design. I love the stories behind the little story cards, the little flavor stuff that goes into the game. Yeah, it's an epic game, and it's just one I enjoy playing a couple of times a year. And there we are, another 10 games down and 30 to go on my top 50 of 2025. As always, agree or disagree, chuck it down in the comments below. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this, and I will see you in the next video.